Greetings, ladies and metal-gents, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Omnipotence of a Sort, written by LeHuriya. When any species first leaves its solar system, they are asked one question. Their answer often determines who they are in the galaxy. Some ask for life unending, others for wisdom overflowing. Some ask for the strength to destroy planets, others ask for the energy to harness stars. But humanity stands alone. Humanity is unique in more ways than they are similar to the other life forms of the galaxy. They know love and hatred. They are internally selfless, yet just as selfish. They are wise, not through calculations and simulations, but theory and trial. And, most obviously, they have never gone faster than light. When humanity first reached the stars, it was not with a pop of warping. When humanity first reached the stars, it was not with the silent hum of hyperdrives. When humanity first reached the stars, it was not the snap of exiting a rift. When humanity first reached the stars, it was with an incessant roar of an engine. When humanity first reached the stars, it was on a ship that had left centuries ago, flying through the depths of the void with only the dim hope that the grandchildren would set foot on a new world to guide them. So, when the first humans set foot on a planet outside their home system, they believed themselves to be cut off from Earth forever less one day. So, when the Rixan appeared before them and asked them what power they desired, the colonists answered as one immediately, to teleport, and the Rixan granted their wish, and the first human on New Terra returned to his distant cousins, and he said, "Hello, I come from the stars," and humanity stood once more united. End of story. Story number 2. To Become One, written by MWMN19. There is one universal law that every civilization in the universe abides by, and that is the law of tools. To create a civilization, you must have two things: appendages that can grab and use items, and a highly social society, a prerequisite to high intelligence. A species can do something as simple as grabbing a rock and using it for some purpose has a massive advantage compared to other beings. On that foundation, a civilized society may come into existence, thrive, and fall. A simple rock that bashes a coconut open, a sword that slays foes, and a pen that makes art and poetry. Without tools, civilization would never form. And despite its universality, it comes in different flavors, new takes and perspectives. When coming in contact with other civilizations, that perspective is shared, and both civilizations benefit from it. Humans are no different. They have their own perspective of how to use tools, their own flavor and way of making those tools. But their biggest difference, the thing that makes them unique, is very simple. They are connected with their tools. There is a word in human language, and that word is transhumanism. It describes the act of melding man and machine, putting something synthetic in an otherwise organic being. But they invented transhumanism much earlier than any other species, and in a way that stretches its definition. But as many have witnessed those humans who continue those traditions, it is truly one and the same. I have been witness to one of them. A human, no modifications of any sort, a pure biological human. One of the human diplomats recommended him for a demonstration of one of the many human cultures that litter the planet they call Earth, their homeworld. I remember the man, middle-aged by human standards, a master in his art. What that art was, I couldn't tell. He had no brushes, he had no pen and paper. We were outside. I remember the gentle breeze as the trees swayed. I was thankful that Earth was so much like my homeworld. that I did not need to be in a suit, that I could feel the breeze on my face, that I can connect with nature of this planet, that I can truly experience this planet. The man came forth, kneeling down and uttering something in his language. It sounded like a prayer of sorts. Then he stood up and grabbed something in his hip. Then he stood there, breathing in and out deeply. He unsheathed the blade, shining bright despite the clouds above. Even from a distance, I could see the amount of craftsmanship invested in it. It was a marvelously made piece of ornament. But a weapon is a weapon, a tool for death and destruction. What art could be made through war? Stance still like a world on pause. I saw as he held onto his blade, absolutely still. He seemed to focus on a certain point, yet I saw nothing of interest in front of him. He was focused on something, but it wasn't anything that we could see. Was it something within him? A east cold breath of a wind-free storm. I felt the wind become more violent. I could smell a change in the local atmosphere. There will be a storm of some kind. Will the performance be cut short? It would be a shame. A firm grasp. He let the blade conform. I could see the man took a deep breath, and his stance became tenser. He became the sword, unsheathed, cut, raw. Meet the rage on the field of war. The rain began, and as it started pouring, the performance began in earnest. The man swung his sword diagonally, elegantly, and changed hands, spinning around and swinging once again. With each swing, he cut through the rain. I saw his immaculate display of ancient combat prowess turn into a dance. He spun the sword in one hand with immense speed. I was worried the man would hurt himself, but I knew, somehow, that would not be the case. His feet went from one stone to another, his sword spinning and swinging around in the air all the while. He did it with such speed that I was sure that he made a force field around him. Where the sword swung and spun, the rain could not pierce. I saw many dances during my career as a diplomat, but I knew they were just for show, and the dancers who did those dances forced themselves to do it. But this was raw and unfiltered. The human danced with the blade as if it were his own appendage. He knew subconsciously where every millimeter of it was. He performed not for us, but for himself. His focus was not on pleasing his superiors and impressing me. It was something he enjoyed, and he did it just for himself. And for that, I felt honored to be present and witness this display. The man suddenly stopped. His blade finally stood still. Droplets slowly poured down the blade. The man swung the sword once more. The water violently sprayed to the ground. Then he returned it to the sheath. He turned to us and did a small bow, one of the human ways of greeting. The man left, and the human ambassadors wanted us to go back inside to continue the tour. But I wanted to stay outside for just a few minutes. I needed to take in what I just saw. In any case, this display wasn't something extraordinary. Humans are capable of things much greater than this. But never have I seen such a connection between organic matter and metal that wasn't inherently connected and stitched together. Humans advanced rapidly. That was a known fact. Many theories posited reasons as to why this was. But now, I was certain. Humans, unlike other species, didn't see tools just as tools. Once skilled enough, the tools became them. They became a natural extension of their own bodies. And throughout history, humans molded their tools as they crafted them. Then the tools molded them. Becoming an expert in a certain field or a certain skill isn't a proper way to express what humans do. Expert or master is not giving it enough justice. Because what I witnessed that day on Earth was a simple display meant to impress and then to be quickly forgotten in the light of much more important matters. That was a show of force that no technology or weapon of mass destruction could top. How can you beat a craftsman whose hammer is his hand. How could you beat a soldier whose manufactured weapon is as natural a weapon as that of a predator born with it? How can you beat an engineer whose creation is not just drawing on paper or raw materials turned into machine, but his own child, his kith and kin? What the majority failed to see was the simple fact that humans and their tools had a connection that was unbreakable. A connection between creator and creation, akin to a parent and a child, a connection akin to a brain and a limb. Creator and creation became one and the same. Creator and creation become one. End of story. I would just quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Dragon Soup, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Red Panda 121, Leslie 517, Bushmaster 177, Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Sans the Skeleton, Lightjock, Dragzoon WRE, and Lord Azrakal. Thank you very much.